What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Saints Night 2883 here, welcoming you guys back to the channel here with another movie review. And today's film that we are going to review for you today is the newest adaptation of the Agatha Christie novel, Murder on the Orient Express. Now, as always in our movie reviews, there will be absolutely zero spoilers in this review. This is just my honest opinion. I don't want to spoil the film just in case any of you are interested in seeing it, or if anyone actually cares about my... This is just for like anyone who cares about my opinion or our opinion and just wants to know what we personally think of the film in question. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to keep seeing these movie reviews in the future, don't forget to smash the thumbs up. So, without further ado, let's dive straight into the review of Murder on the Orient Express. And honestly, I didn't know what to think about it. Well, I didn't have an opinion that much of it at the start, seeing as how I never watched I've never read any of Agatha Christie's books, and I've never watched any of the TV episodes of of Poirot with David Suchet. But I heard good things about the books and that, so I was intrigued when the trailer came out, and honestly, the trailer looked good. Actually, the trailer got me a little bit excited for it. I mean, it had an A-list cast, and the only problem I had with the trailer was the fact that Kenneth Branagh, who plays the detective Hercule Poirot in this film, the changes to him looked a bit weird for me. But I saw it actually, but when the time came to watch the film, I went in there with moderate expectations. I think we all did, well, except for Gaylord, who actually is a Agatha Christie fan. He's read most of the Poirot books, I believe, and I think some of the Miss Marple ones. Anyway, getting off topic, the film itself is I honestly really enjoyed this movie. I honestly found it fantastic, actually, because, well, one, as I said before, A-list cast with Josh Gad, Daisy Ridley, Michelle Pfeiffer, Judi Dench, Olivia Colman, Kenneth Branagh, Jesus, Leslie Odom Jr. There is a lot of A-list actors in here, and all of them do a fantastic job of portraying their characters flawlessly, actually. The story itself, if you haven't read the books, basically it's whilst on a break from his last job, Detective Poirot actually is on board this train, and in the middle of the night somebody gets murdered. I'm not going to say who because again, spoilers. One of the passengers gets murdered, and it's up to Detective Poirot to actually figure out, interrogate everyone, and just basically to find out who killed this person. And honestly, as far as the story goes, it is basic for it's a basic detective movie. It's one of those detective thrillers. And that's what's so intriguing about the story. It's simplicity, and I can't even say simplistic because it wasn't even simple. I mean, it actually kept me guessing. I love films where it's unpredictable. It takes changes different direction and stuff like that. And this did it in spades. So much so that the ending is fantastic. Again, I'm not going to spoil it. So, yeah. Based on story alone, it really is good. As I said, the casting, top-notch choice. Kenneth Branagh actually does a fantastic job as Poirot, as this OCD detective who is who talks to himself, who's like always precise with everything, and he actually does a fantastic job. And actually, the more I watch the film, the more that mustache and that wee mustache and beard combination that you see him in the trailers, it actually grew on me quite a lot, which I was surprised considering the fact that I first thought it was so stupid. The soundtrack is actually very, very good. Actually, the composer, I don't know who composes the score in this movie, but the songs actually fit quite well with each other and actually are quite good. But the best thing I'd honestly say about this movie, honestly, I think that this movie is the best looking movie I have seen ever. I mean, the cinematographer and the director, who actually enough is the main guy in this, Hercule Poirot, they both deserve the highest amount of praise available, because most of the establishing shots in this movie, fantastic. They're stunning. It made me want to go on a train ride on the Orient Express, and mostly that's due to the cinematographer. So the cinematographer gets huge praises. I mean, each establishing shot, not even just the establishing shots. I mean, like the shots from like whenever they're like inside the cabin and all that sort of stuff. Like the camera work in general for the whole movie was actually really fantastic. It was quite good. I'm trying to think of any faults that it had. Well, honestly, the only fault that I can think of is maybe the first, maybe the part before Orient Express. But I get why they did that, seeing as how they had to establish. But it would have been better if I personally would have felt that it would have been better if it started at the train station rather than the end of one of Poirot's cases. So that means you'd have to look up the book and all that sort of stuff. But it is a good character introduction, so it gets a pass for that. Then again, this is me just nitpicking, getting to the nitty gritty of all of it. And honestly, apart from that one nitpick that I actually kind of solved myself, so I'm kind of ignoring that. So apart from that, I can't name a single thing wrong with this movie. I mean, the acting is fantastic. Actually, the A-list cast did do a fantastic job of reprising their roles individually. Some standouts were actually, obviously, the main detective, Hercule Poirot. Daisy Ridley's character, the Countess, she actually was quite good. Michelle Pfeiffer's character, Michelle Pfeiffer, Daisy Ridley, Kenneth Branagh, and Judi Dench and Olivia Colman. I would say those five are probably the ones that are, to me at least, the better performances of the movie. Then again, that being said, there are tons and tons of performances. Nobody is bad in this movie. No acting is god awful. So overall, I really, really enjoyed the Murder on the Orient Express. I mean, it's shot beautifully. The sounds and music are fitting with the shot actually with like the cinematography and all that. So they both go hand in hand together. The A-list cast do a fantastic job, and hell, everything was quite fantastic in this movie. So with that, you know what? Enough dawdling any further. Let's go straight into the final verdict. I believe Guillaume Lord and I gave it a 8 out of 10. No, he gave it a 9 out of 10. Technically, he did 8.5, but since we don't do decimal points, he gave it a 9 out of 10. Aaron One Shot gave it a 4 out of 10. But bear in mind, he fell asleep throughout most of it. Seriously, he fell asleep like whilst it was on, like during the first act, so to speak. So he went into this like not knowing who anyone was, why everyone's getting in like a twist, and all that sort of stuff. And he missed some of the best establishing shots in the movie. But yeah, and as for my final verdict, you know what? I'll agree with Game Lord and I on this one. I'd give this film a 9 out of 10 as well. It really is a great movie. If you're a fan of detective movie, if you're a fan of like detective movies, if you're a fan of if you want a movie that has good acting, good cinematography, good score, and good story, then I'd watch this. It really is that good of a movie. So those are our thoughts of Murder on the Orient Express. What about you guys? What do you guys think of Murder on the Orient Express? Have you seen it? If you have seen it, what did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Did you not enjoy it? If you haven't seen it, are you going to see it? Like, are you convinced by this review to watch it, or you still a little bit hesitant? Whatever the opinion, I encourage you guys to leave your thoughts down in the comments down below. And with that, I'm afraid it is now time to end this video. I hope you guys did enjoy that. If you did, then you know what to do. Smash the thumbs up button, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and if you're not new, don't forget to turn on the push notifications. Simple to do, really. All you gotta do is click the bell icon next to the subscribe button, tick the box enabling all notifications to your channel, press save, then boom. You get instant notifications on whenever we go live or when we post a new video. And apart from that, guys, we'll see you in the next video. So till then, guys, as always, peace.